Hi guys, what is up and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi and welcome. So for this video, I did reach out to you guys on my community section on my channel just to see if any of you would be interested in kind of hearing about what my clinical days were like for my OB rotation. It was my only one I've had all of nursing school besides my mental health. So yeah, I just thought it would be nice to kind of share it, and I thought I would just explain every single day and kind of what made me realize the moment I realized I want to be a labor and delivery nurse. So I thought that we would just do this for a little sit down video. But yeah, so I had 3 days of clinicals. We had to be there we showed up at like 6:45, we hit the floor at 7 and got to do a report, and then we usually left around like 6-ish, just depending on the flow of the day. So I had mine, it's kind of a while now, I wish I would have asked and done something like this sooner. But I had mine Wednesday, Thursday, 1 week, and then the following week I had it on Wednesday, I believe. So day one, we showed up at 6:30 so we could meet our clinical instructor, who was incredible. I love her, I'm so obsessed with her, and I hope that one day I can work alongside her. Oh my gosh, my animal's hair is always on my mouth all the time. So we got there at 6:30, we met her, she kind of explained to us what the next 3 clinical shifts were going to look like for us, and just kind of what to expect, not to get our hopes up or anything, just in case it was going to be slow or whatever. So we went up to the OB floor and she had us sit to the side, and she went to the nurse's station to just kind of map out what was going on, if there were any laboring moms, if there were postpartum people to be getting taken care of, just like everything. She was trying to get us into the NICU, postpartum, and obviously through the labor and delivery stuff. So the first day I got to go in the NICU, which I was really excited about. NICU was always such a big dream of mine, coming into this channel, going into my field, like everything. Like I just was always super interested in NICU. So the second she asked like who wants to go NICU, like even the girls in my thing were like Ashley, and I was like I would love to spend the first day here in the NICU. So I got to go in the NICU. I had 2 really incredible nurses that I got to work with. They were a lot older, so they were very wise and very helpful and very grateful for the work that I was able to help them with. For the nurse I was specifically working with, I had one withdrawing baby from her, and I had a preemie, which was the cutest little baby in the whole world. So I just pretty much spent the entire day cuddling them, feeding them, getting to learn. I got to learn some really cool things with preemies, like ways of keeping them stimulated while you're feeding them. And preemies, because they're so little, you have to hold their necks a certain way while you feed them. I got to change them. Yeah, but that one was so cute. The preemie was so adorable, and if you guys know and you have taken OB, you know that lanugo, when they're premature, they have a lot of it. And so this baby just had so much lanugo, and it was so freaking cute. The hats like wouldn't even fit it all the way. It was a dream working with that baby. And like she showed me the little stethoscopes that they use in there, and I got to see some of the equipment, like the oxygen masks, the NG tubes, like all of it. Like I saw all the tubing. It was really cool, and she kind of showed me how the machines work. And then she also taught me how to use the bottle warmers that they have at the hospital, which were really cool as well. I feel like I kind of did what I did in nanning, but just for babies who needed it more, if that made sense. So I did that all day. Yeah, it was really nothing crazy. I did get to hang out with a neonatal nurse practitioner, and she was so cool. She was going through everything with me. She let me do assessments with her. And she was just explaining like every little thing that she was studying. And yeah, it was awesome being able to work with her, and she gave me a lot of advice, because if you guys have been here for a minute, you know that I have been interested in getting my NP eventually. But I always wanted to graduate nursing school and see if that was still something I was ever interested in. But yeah, it was really cool just being able to work with her and hear like her story and get the advice from her. I was really sad leaving, because the nurses were like, wait, can you stay longer? Like, when are you coming back? My babies haven't been this quiet in so long. And I was like, I mean, really, everyone always calls me the baby whisperer, and at this point in life I'm like, I know it. But yeah, I was really grateful to spend my day in the NICU, and it did kind of show me that I'm not sure if the NICU is going to be something I want to start off at as a nurse, if that makes sense. I'd rather maybe see myself doing it in the future, and I think if I were to become a nurse practitioner, I would want to be a neonatal nurse practitioner. So I think that's where I would see myself far in the future. But yeah, I'm glad I was able to experience that and see some of the things and learn everything that I did that day. Then the next day I got to do postpartum. I could not have gotten luckier with the people I got to take care of. Not everyone is feeling like, I bet, super comfortable with like a nurse, and not everyone, like, obviously I don't walk into the room and they're like, oh, she must be a nanny, like she must have baby experience. So I'm sure a lot of people are like, oh my God, have they held a baby? Like, I don't know, I feel like it's weird having like some student who's not even like qualified to do anything yet really like touch your baby and like I don't know, do things and practice on you. And I was really grateful because they were just so sweet and easy to talk to. Their husbands were incredible. I'm just so happy I was able to be part of their experience, and they were a part of mine. They were really, really amazing people, and they had the sweetest babies in the whole world. And so for this day with my nurse, she was a postpartum nurse, so we did their vitals every 3 hours, hers and the newborns. We would take out IVs or packing or anything like that that needed to be removed or assessed. We assessed bleeding. We were able to palpate the fundus on both moms. I was able to do that, which was really cool to do because I've only learned about it. So it's kind of cool actually being able to like palpate and assess a patient. I've just been craving that patient interaction, you know? So yeah, we did that, vitals. I got to do some glucose tests on a baby. I was offered to do a PKU test, but she was like, do you want to do this? But you have to, and like specified exactly how it had to be done and stuff. And I was like, maybe I'll just watch like this first time, and maybe if we have to do another one like this week, like maybe I'll do it. Because you have to get it right in the circle, and like it's not good to get it outside of the circle so it doesn't mess up the tests and stuff. So I was like, I don't want to like upset you if I mess it up. So kind of regret not doing it, but also did not want to be, I didn't want to inconvenience that nurse or having to make that baby get pricked again for more blood, or I don't know. I just did not want to be that. But I got to do some blood glucose tests. What else did I get to do? I got to give a newborn baby bath. It was so freaking cute. I was in heaven doing that. My niece, Josh's sister, had a baby September of 2019, and they sent us videos of her bath, and I was like, oh. I just remember watching the video and being like, I cannot wait to give babies baths in the NICU one day or wherever I end up. And I just remember being like, oh. So then she was like, do you want to give the baby a bath with me? I was like, are you kidding me? Like, please, like, absolutely. So I actually got to stay later than the rest of my group mates because I got to go when we were supposed to be leaving. But she was like, my clinical instructor was like really nice and waited for me so I could go do that. So I did get to give the newborn bath, and we gave him a little mohawk because he had so much hair, which was also so cute. All the babies I took care of had so much hair. It was incredible. So yeah, I got to give the baby a bath, and it was the cutest thing, and I want to give 100 more baby newborn baths now. So that was really cool. And yeah, that's pretty much all we did all day. We just ran around doing assessments. Oh, I got to pass out some meds, which was cool because a lot of people got to do that when they got their foundations and med-surg stuff, and I still didn't get to do that. And in mental health, I wasn't allowed to. Obviously, mental health's a different story when it comes to that stuff, so I didn't get to experience that, but I did get to practice on the medication machine, like where you enter like the patient's information, and then like you pull up their meds on it, and then it like opens the drawer automatically for you, so you can grab each medication, and then you shut it and it locks. So I got to use that, which was really cool. And then I got to give the patients their medication and explain to them what the medication was, and like if they needed to eat with it or something, I would be able to give them that education and stuff, which was really fun and cool, even though I was like, here's your pill. So that was, but it was fun. I think they knew I was a student and was nervous, so that was really awesome. And yeah, that's pretty much all I did on postpartum. It wasn't a lot, but you were moving a lot because like every 3 hours you have, so each nurse on this specific floor of the hospital, I don't know how it is at other hospitals, but each postpartum nurse has 2 patients. So my nurse had 2 families, and just like going back and forth between them all day, like every 3 hours. And then you also have to help with the feedings. So yeah, I did get to, and it was cool because she was like, do you know how to work this? And I was like, yeah, I do, because I learned the day before in the NICU, so I was able to like heat up their tiny little bottles. And then I did also get to witness a circumcision that day, which was nothing that I was literally ever expecting that to be. Like, that was crazy. But the pediatrician that did it, he was so freaking cool, which was also really exciting because, I don't know, a lot of people when I was growing up were always like, oh, like, be careful, the doctors like hate nurses, and there's just like that stigma around it. So I was really scared to ask any questions, but he was so cool, and he was like explaining every little thing to me in detail, showing me where he was putting the shot, and like it was just like, he was so detailed, and like I could not have been more grateful, because obviously he has more things to do than teach me how to do a circumcision that I'll never perform anyways. But yeah, it was really cool being able to do that and just kind of soothe my baby while it was happening and give him his little sucrose drops to kind of keep him in a good mood. But yeah, so I got to see that and provide some of his postpartum or his checkup care after that. But yeah, it was pretty chill. Postpartum wasn't too crazy. Awesome patients, awesome babies, awesome families. It was a really, really great day. So that was my first week. Then the next week came, and I got put on postpartum again in the morning. Again, we had not a single mom was laboring. And the night before, I think there was one baby born, or maybe two. So we got to do postpartum care, and which again, I just did everything the same thing, which was really cool. And I really liked my nurse that day. She was so funny. She was the greatest. So yeah, we just did the same thing I did on Wednesday. And I got to lunch, and they were like, okay, Ashley, like we have 2 moms who are laboring, but one of them was like only 3 centimeters dilated, and the other one had just been induced. So who knew how long that was gonna take? And it was already 12 something at this point. I think it was 12:30. So I just kind of like had to be like, you know what? I didn't get to see it, but you know what? If this is truly where I'm gonna be one day, then like I'll end up here regardless, no matter what happens today. So we went to lunch, and we came back, and my clinical instructor looked up, and she was like, I think she's having her baby. And then I was like great. The one that was the closest today is like, I'm missing it. And then my clinical instructor texted the nurse that was in there and was like, hey, like can my one student like pop in? And they were like, yeah, absolutely. And I went in there, and I'm literally like gonna get so emotional about this because it was like so cool, and I want to do this so bad. But I go in there, like I like sanitize in and stuff, and I'm just like sitting in the back of the room, and she's like already like the baby's crowning, like everything is like, it's there. And she just like smiled at me, and I was like, hi, you're having a baby, don't look at me, like so it was really cool. So we just like sat there and we waited, and I was like in there for maybe 10 minutes, and then she had the most beautiful baby ever, and it was so cool. And I started crying when the baby came out, because it was just like, the baby like immediately came out. Like after that, they put the baby on the mom's chest for immediate skin to skin, and to give her that little bit of time with the cord before they clamped the cord, because they held it a little bit longer, which is so good. It's such a good idea. We just learned about that, and I definitely want to do that with my baby, is wait an extra couple minutes to cut the cord. But the mom immediately started crying, the dad started crying. They had sorry, my voice gets so cracky, you guys, I'm not kidding you. Like this was such an emotional like thing. It was so beautiful. They had their friends and family on the FaceTime. There's like a triple FaceTime going on, and they were like watching it. Like everyone was crying, and I started crying. Yeah, and then I started crying. Like I was like very, very like, it was just like a couple tears fell. And then the nurse like turned around and was like, well, how was it? How was your first delivery? And I was like, that was incredible. And I like look over, and the mom's like looking at me like smiling, and I was like, fuck, I love this so much. And they were all like, oh, stop, that's so cute, I remember my first delivery, and like all of this stuff. And I was like, oh, okay, now I look like, it's just like me and like the family crying. Like this isn't even like, it was like almost the happiest day of my life too, I guess. But she's the one that just had a baby, and I'm over here like, you know. So it was really cool. And then I got to watch, the midwife walked me through kind of like how she was going to stitch up the tearing and stuff, and they kind of showed me how to make sure to deliver the placenta, which was really cool. I got to see them take the some blood from the cord. I got to see the dad cut the cord. I got to see it all, and it was so cool. And then when we all left and it was good, and we just kind of left the mom with her baby for a minute, I went out there, and my instructor was like, well, and I like started crying. I was like, I want to do this, like, and I'm like sweating, like it was like full on adrenaline rush. My hands were clammy, my eyes were all like watery, and like my makeup was probably a little messy because I literally had like tears. But I was just like, I want to do this, like I can't see myself doing anything other than this now. Like that was incredible. And so my instructor was like, obviously like over the moon for me. She's a labor and delivery nurse, like she remembered that moment for herself, so she was really excited for me. Let me get my voice back. It always gets all cracky when I talk about this, even when I was telling my family like that night what happened, I'm like crying. But now let's get my voice back. Let's drink some water. stop crying. It's like a month ago and I'm still like a big baby about it. It's like a memory I will remember that for like the rest of my life, you know? Okay, so after that, I told my clinical instructor that. She was like, well, like, let's see if we can be the ones, like, and you can be the one to do all her postpartum care. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I would love nothing more. So we asked the nurse, and she like was like, yeah, please, like, I actually do need help. A couple other patients had come in actually, so it worked out really well, so I could be her helping hand. And I went obviously with my instructor. I didn't do anything ever by myself, except for one thing, which is really cool. I'll tell you guys. But so every 15 minutes I went and checked the pad for bleeding. Obviously we want to be checking for any type of postpartum hemorrhaging and stuff, and making sure the bleeding is within the normal limits that it needs to be in the safe amount. And then I got to palpate her fundus, which is really fun. And the fundus, if you're not an OB yet, is the uterus, the top of the uterus. We palpate it because we want it to be firm. So again, to prevent that postpartum hemorrhage. So I got to palpate that, which I also felt so bad doing to all my patients, you guys, because you really have to like get in there and like palpate that thing, and it hurts them. Like they just like had a baby, shoved a baby, and so it like puts a lot of pressure on their poor bellies, and I'm always like, I'm so sorry, like I'm so sorry. But yeah, I got to do that. And then she did have an epidural, so we also assessed her leg functioning and like how her legs were coming back every time too, just to make sure, because we did want to be able to get her up and go to the bathroom. And so throughout my assessments, I did get to go in one time and palpate by myself and check the pad by myself and go report that to my clinical instructor and the nurse, which is really exciting. And the nurse was like, you did so good, like thank you. And I was like, no, thank you. But yeah, so sorry, my camera shut off, so I'm not really sure where I left off. Yeah, that was literally the moment I fell in love. I know you guys could probably tell when I about started crying on you that was obviously the moment where I realized that's what I want to do with my life. Like I want to be a labor and delivery nurse, and I want it more than anything in this world, and now I'm going to do whatever I can to get there. Like literally whatever I can. Like I can't see myself doing anything other than that. It was life-changing, and I can't wait to bring more babies into the world hopefully one day. So that was really cool. And also the one thing that also solidified it was before we were about to leave, I got to go in. I was like, hey, like, is it okay if I just go thank her for letting me be a part of that? Because obviously like having some student like in the back of your labor room, like kind of watching what's happening and trying to like learn can be intimidating, especially for a first-time mom. So I was just like, hey, like I just wanted to say, like, because of you letting me be part of this, like you just solidified me and me wanting to be a labor and delivery nurse. Like that was incredible. Today was my last day to see it, and you were that for me. And I just like thanked her, and she was like, no, like thank you. I don't know what it was, but something about having you here made me so comfortable. Waterworks again, because I was like, are you kidding me? Like this is like meant to be. Like I have to do this one day. This is so dumb. I'm sorry, I'm being so emotional about this. I did not expect it this far. Like it's literally been like 2 months, I think, or a month. So anyways, that is why I want to be a labor and delivery nurse. But I did want to show you guys a couple cool things that we did get to do. Well, not show you, but tell you. So my clinical instructor had us do 2 games. The first week we did one where you got a balloon and you blew it up, and then, or you put a ping pong ball in it, and then you blow it up, and then you try and get it down. And it's kind of where you get to like, so the top of the balloon's like the uterus, right? And then you practice and like getting it through the canal, and then like it kind of shows you like the effacement and like the dilation of it and coming out, and then you like pop it out, which is really fun. I definitely think all teachers should do that in OB, which is really cool. And then another game that she had was she had made a box where you reached in and you couldn't tell, and you tried to guess the dilation of the baby or of the mom. So, and I got all of them right but 2, and I got the 2 I got were mixed like backwards, and I knew it by the end of it. I was like, oh, I think like when I did the last one, I was like, oh no, I definitely put this one for like the last one or whatever. And I was like, I'm meant to do this. I'm meant to check cervixes and the dilation. I'm meant for this. I was like so proud of myself. But yeah, that's pretty much all we did. It was nothing crazy. It was very slow. They were like, we might have 4 moms delivering today, or we might have 0. So it was very crazy to know, like, I don't know what was gonna happen and what to expect. But the best thing I could give you advice on, and if you do get to do your OB clinical and this is something you're interested in, just show that interest to your clinical instructor and let them know, hey, I'm in this, like I want to do this one day. So this is a huge clinical for me, and they will fight for you to get sure, especially if they're a clinical or if they're a labor and delivery nurse. Like my clinical instructor like fought for me to make sure that I was not going to leave her clinical rotation without seeing that and like solidifying that that's what I saw myself doing. And she did that for me, and that was incredible. And she wrote me a recommendation letter after that, and now she's just like the biggest help ever on helping me trying to follow my dreams, because she was also once in my place. So that's really nice. And also just asking your nurses so many questions. Do not ever be afraid of, you know, asking a dumb question or anything. Like my nurses were so nice to me. They let me be as annoying as I possibly could be. And there were things where like I was like, can I do that? Oh, also for the one mom, the one I got to watch the delivery, I got to take out her epidural cath out, which was so scary because my clinical instructor was like, if it tugs or pulls, do not pull it. So I was like, oh my gosh, that's scary. So I'm like pulling it out, and it all came out really well. And I got to like assess the tip and make sure everything was intact, but that was really cool. And I also got to pull out an IV cath, which was really cool since I haven't got to do anything like that before, thanks to COVID. Yeah, just giving yourself like as much opportunities as you can and asking the questions when you can, and just trying to indulge yourself in that information as much as freaking possible. And then also take every chance to practice your bedside manner with these patients, like introducing yourself, making sure you're sanitizing, and making sure you're talking to them like they're human beings, and just talking to them and like, you know, complimenting them and their babies and their families, and just being super, super, super personable to them, because they are obviously in such an emotional state. Like the craziest thing in their life just happened. Like it's a beautiful moment. So the next thing they need for this important memory is that the nurse is taking care of them. They'll remember us, you guys. Like, I don't know, like my mom remembers all of her nurses from all of her deliveries, and it changed everything for her. It made her experience a lot better. So yeah, just making sure you're there for your patients and just trying to be as personal and kind and sweet and talkative in the best way that you can. I know I might have talked a little bit too much for one of the moms, but I just thought she was so cool, and I just was like, you're incredible. But yeah, just give it your best, you guys, and just try and stay positive. If you're not seeing something you really want to see, just stay positive and just kind of try to reassure yourself, and make sure you're communicating to your instructor and stuff, and they'll make sure they can get you to do whatever they can. They're really cool. So yeah, that is my little OB clinical thing. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Okay, sorry about that, my camera died, but I'm going to end the video here. I don't even know where I ended up. I need to wrap it up because I could mumble about my OB stuff all day long. So it was obviously the best 3 days of my whole life, being able to experience all of that. But yeah, I love you guys, and thank you for watching. I know a lot of you really would have rather had vlogged the actual experience itself and stuff, but I didn't want any distractions. Obviously this was something I went in being super interested in, and I did not need to be distracted by vlogging or trying to vlog every single day. I had a lot of clinical paperwork and homework, and I just wanted to be 100% in the moment and there for these clinicals. So that was just something that I chose to personally make sure I didn't do. Also with HIPAA, I'm not sure, I literally would not have been able to show you guys anything anyway. So in my opinion, explaining it and kind of walking you through every little thing that I did get to do and see and take part of is a little bit better, because I wouldn't have been able to show you any of that anyways. So I know some of you would have preferred to see it that way, but I'm sorry, and I hope that this was still something that can give you a little bit of expectations on what to expect for your OB rotation. And I don't know, I hope it helped somehow, and I hope you guys liked it. But yeah, before I mumble on anymore, thank you for watching. I truly, truly adore you guys with every ounce of my entire being, and I can't wait to vlog this weekend and get a vlog up for you guys soon too. So I love you guys, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video.